Today in Allentown, Pennsylvania. What will he need to do to get people back to work? Joining us now, two candidates for Pennsylvania's Senate seat. Former chairman of the Club for Growth, Pat Toomey, joins us from Philadelphia, and joining us from Washington is Democratic Congressman Joe Sestak. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Gretchen.
Good morning, Gretchen.
Congressman, is this a good thing for you in Pennsylvania that President Obama is coming there first?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Anytime you can have the President of the United States come to your state, it's a good thing. I hope what he does is make sure everybody knows that the Great Recession this past quarter, with 3.5% GDP growth, has ended. Is it still intense out there? Absolutely. And where do I want his focus? On small businesses. In the last recession, under George Bush, 80% of all jobs were created by small business. So I hope he talks about tax incentives, tax cuts for small businesses. I hope he recognizes that in the past 8 years under President Bush, the Small Business Administration's budget was slashed 40%. Let's get the Small Business Administration's loans increased at affordable rates. Let's guarantee them up to 98% and 90% instead of 90%.
Well,
so there's a lot to be done.
Congressman, you're sounding like a Republican with tax cuts. Pat Toomey, I'm kind of surprised to hear Congressman Sestak saying that, because here's what President Obama said yesterday. Productivity is up, profits are up, markets up, but businesses are skittish to hire. Why do you think they're skittish to hire?
Well, there's a number of reasons. First, I'm delighted that the president's coming to Allentown and coming to Pennsylvania, and I hope this marks a real shift in the focus of his administration to job growth. That should be item number one. I'm glad to hear Joe talk about some lowering the tax burden. The problem is that so much of the agenda that Joe is voting for and that President Obama and Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid are promoting raises taxes. The health care bill that they have voted for and that's working its way through the Senate imposes direct new taxes on workers. This cap and trade legislation dramatically raises the cost of all energy use. They're proposing tax increases on income, on wages, on capital, on business. This is no way to go. Now, if this is a shift, and they're going to come around and realize that we shouldn't impose these new costs, we shouldn't impose these new taxes, and we got to get spending under control, because that's really driving, ultimately it drives all these tax increases, then we could make some real progress. So I hope the president is open to what will really help to generate growth.
Congressman, is there a shift? Do you know about a shift in the Obama administration? They're going to stop the spending programs and listen to you?
Well, this is very interesting, because Pat, who I have great respect for, sounds almost like an apostate. Back in 2002, he actually let the pay-as-you-go rules go out the window, and he, with his votes, let the national debt increase from $4.5 trillion to almost $10 trillion.
Okay, well, let's keep it about what's happening today, which is 10.2% unemployment rate.
Absolutely. Without a question, 10.2. If we had not done the economic stimulus bill and we had not done TARP, we would have been at 12% unemployment. So what we do want to do is do those tax incentives for small business I spoke about. But just a moment, Pat, just a moment. But what we also have to do is recognize that we have 27 million Americans who are underemployed or unemployed. And so the state budgets this year have fallen 9% in terms of revenues. So we also want to probably infuse to the states an equivalent amount of money so that they don't lay off education people or people that they are having in their workforce, just as we get the small businesses to get job growth going again.
All right, Pat,
it is about job growth, but we cannot have more hemorrhaging of jobs.
Pat Toomey, I got to give you the final word.
Joe just goes right back to more spending that we can't afford. I mean, this government and Joe's votes have created a $1.4 trillion deficit, serial bailouts of failing companies that misallocate resources, this chilling effect that is affecting potential employers and actual employers by the threat of higher taxes on wages, this huge new energy cost. This is a big part of the problem. I hope the president will get off this agenda and onto one that will really limit spending and the bailouts, lower taxes, and lower this deficit so that we can have private sector-led growth.
All right. Well, no doubt this is going to be the whole topic of conversation as the two of you go head-to-head potentially for that Senate seat in Pennsylvania.
We will.
Thank you both for joining me this morning.
Thanks, Gretchen. Thanks, Pat.
Thanks for having me.
Steve, Eric?